This is Russell Howard with good news to live by. I hope you're having an excellent day today, and I hope all is well with you. The sun is shining. Hopefully, it'll begin to cool down here soon. We've had some very warm days, and we appreciate you being able to be with us this fantastic day. We are in a series that we're looking at to the book of Philippians, and we'll get to that in just a second. Please remember Joy Galick, who is in the hospital, Marion General Hospital, will be going to rehab really soon. We also ask that you be signing up for this Sunday. We will be back at the building this Sunday with the three services at 8:15, 9:45, and 11:15, as well as a service for our service families with small elementary children. And we are blessed, and we have them spaced out right so you can have plenty of space. You are encouraged to wear a mask, but it is not absolute. We do hope that you will plan on joining us this particular Sunday. We would love to have you. And if you haven't come yet, I hope that you will venture out. Maybe eventually we'll be doing some more outdoor services as well in the future, especially have to do with heat, and maybe it cools down a little bit. We'll see how that will work out. But we do hope that you'll be with us Sunday. We're in a series on Second Corinthians, and it's a great passage this week. Second Corinthians chapter 2, the thrill of victory. And I hope that you will join us this particular Sunday morning. It's always encouraging when you're there. We encourage you to also visit Mike Hollebrand's Bible class on Sunday night on Zoom and a study on the book of Genesis. Today, as we continue on in Philippians chapter 2, we're looking at how to diffuse conflict in your life. How to diffuse conflict in your life. We don't like conflict. I don't know about you, but sometimes we have conflict, and sometimes it's brought on by our own self, the reason why we have conflict. Well, as we look at this particular today, we've been looking at already, if you're going to diffuse conflict, we've looked in Philippians 2 1 through verse 11. You've got to diffuse competition. You can't be competitive. Secondly, we looked at the fact you got to decrease criticism. Delete conceit, and then decrease criticism. Today we come to the fourth one, and that is demonstrate consideration. Demonstrate consideration. Can you be considerate of other people? Let's look at verse 4 of Philippians 2. Each of you should look not only to your own interest, but also the interest of others. Paul's pleading with the Philippians there to lay aside their desires for themselves. You know, we live in a world that look out for number one and their own prominence and prestige to have their in their hearts and humble their hearts, and the selfish desire seems to be a big thing in our society. It's amazing. What about me? What about me? He's saying, don't be interested only in you. Don't be just interested in what is important to you. Circle the word there, look. The Greek word there is skopos, which we get the scope. It's like a scope on a rifle. In other words, we are so tunnel vision. All I see is simply me. What about me? What about my feelings? What about what I want? And all we do, and we become very self centered, very self focused. Let's telescope in on it. Pay attention to the needs of other people, not just your own. But we don't do it, and that's why we have problems. That's why we have problems at work. That's why we have problems in marriage. That's why we have problems with our kids. That's why we have problems with other people. We don't pay attention to their needs, what's going on in their mind. The key word is look and listen. Look and listen. We have to look at their needs, and we need to listen to them. Look and listen. You know, it's interesting in Philippians, in James chapter 1, verse 17, is a great verse and passage that tells us how we could do a lot better job of being considerate of other people. Here's what James says in James chapter 1. James says these words, He says, verses 19, my brothers, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to become angry. For man's anger does not bring about the righteous life that God desires. Slow to speak, quick to listen, slow to speak. We need to be people that be more willing to listen to other people. Could you name 5 greatest interests in your wife if you're married? 5 greatest interests of your wife. Can you name 5 greatest interests of your husband, ladies? How about parents? Can you name 5 of the greatest interests of your children? Of your children. You can answer that if you paid attention and you listen to them. What are they talking about? What's important to them? So often we want to make sure we get our way, and we're going to make sure, demand our way, but we never listen to them. He says in James 3:17, but the wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure, and then peace loving, and considerate, and submissive, full of mercy, good fruit, impartial, and sincere. This is not earthly wisdom. This is godly wisdom. Be considerate of other people. Listen to what Peter wrote in 1 Peter 3, verse 7. Husbands, in the same way, be considerate as you live with your wives, so that nothing will hinder your prayer. Do you realize, fellas, when you are not considerate of the needs of your wife, that God says your prayer is hindered? And the way you treat your spouse hinders your prayers. Nothing I'm saying is new to you. We just quite often just don't do it. We're not very considerate. So the fourth cause of conflict is when I'm insensitive to the needs of other people. When I only see my needs, my feelings, how tired I feel, how pressured I feel, when I'd like that, on what I want to do on my day off, then we're going to have conflict. Here, as I close, I want you to think about some questions. Are you considerate with those closest to you? Do you tend to take them for granted? Do you just assume that they will always be there? Do you assume that you have a right to certain things? Do you consider the emotional needs of your mate, or you just pretend they don't exist? Consideration is a great key on harmony in all relationships, that we would just be considerate. Well, this is Russell Howard, Good News to Live By. Tomorrow morning, I hope that you will be with us as we'll bring chapter 1 through verse 11 to a conclusion, which we'll talk about the most important part of all, developing a Christ likeness. Developing a Christ likeness. It's not just a matter of things we shouldn't do, but it's a matter of things we should do. Hey, thank you for joining us today. We hope that you will share this with other of your friends and family, and that today we'll be showing acts of kindness to other people. Have a great day.